Today we're talking landscaping. Yes, we've got a startup business that has done £230,000 in their first year. All of that business has come through word of mouth and recommendation. They want to grow and they have no idea how to do it. And this is a business owner that, like so many, is fearful of employing people, recruitment, and everything else that comes with growing a business. Let's get in and help our guest to grow his business. Welcome to Grow with Evergreen, the podcast designed to help you grow your business by providing practical insights into all things paid media, creative, and digital strategy. Every episode, we help home, garden, and lifestyle brands with their growth challenges by delving into their business, dissecting what they're doing, and defining a digital growth strategy they can take and deploy into their business. Let's get into it. Right, welcome back, beautiful people. I hope you're all doing well. We've got a startup on the pod today. Lovely chap called Harry. Runs his business is Rickard Landscapes. 3 guesses for what his I'm going to start that again. I was going to say it before. I was going to. I might have started again before. I was going to say it, and then I thought I haven't actually checked if that is his surname. Sorry.
He just likes the name.
Sorry. We'll start a bit again. Bloody hell.
Okay.
Yeah. Literally, I should have just gone with it, but then I sort of second guess myself. Idiot. Right, 1 second. Okay. Right, welcome back, beautiful people. Today we are talking landscapes. We've got a startup business joining us on the Grow with Evergreen podcast. Chap's name is Harry. The business is Rickard Landscapes. 3 guesses for what Harry's surname is. It's a business that in year 1, which is at the time of recording, his first year, is about to finish.
An odd name, Landscapes.
Very good. Very good. His first business year is about to finish, and he's done £230,000 in turnover, which is way more than I did in my first year. I didn't even break the VAT threshold in my first year.
Wow.
So he's going some. So fair hat tip to Harry. But yes, he's done 230k revenue in his first year. All of that has come through referrals, recommendations, word of mouth, and his previous employer. And it's a small team. He's got, I think he said 3 people that works with him right now. And yeah, he's coming on the pod to talk paid media, but I think also just to talk business. I think what we're going to just have is a little sort of, cuddle over the airwaves in as much as how to grow a business and the pitfalls and the highs, lows, and realities of doing it.
So that could be a soul album, a cuddle over the airwaves.
Oh, there we go. There we go. But I just think, so I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be fun. But yes, Darren, firstly, how are you? You good?
Very good.
This is our just give you a little sense of behind the scenes. This is our 3rd podcast recording of the day.
It is.
We are going like gangbusters.
We're going strong.
And we're all fueled up. We've just had lunch. So we're all fed, watered, ready to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, you good? You well?
Yeah, very good. Working on lots of things at the moment.
What are you working on right now?
Working actually on the conceptualization of 5 different brand films.
5 brand films.
All at the same time.
Do you want to give any of our clients a shout out on who you're working on?
Yeah.
Put you on the spot now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, firstly, what are the brand films? What are these things?
So brand film. What is a brand film? Well, I mean,
because if you go on a website, you can't find any reference to brand films right now.
No, you can't.
So what is this mysterious?
It's a fairly new service that we're doing.
Brand film?
It is something that I definitely will be adding to the website at some stage because it's something that I want to offer it out as a separate service that people who don't work with us for our paid media can also access. But a brand film is a great way to stand out when it comes to trying to appeal to your target customer, because whereas ads are a great way to aim for the head, as I often say, aims for someone's logical choices, brand film aims for the heart. It's a really good way to connect with your customer, a good way to say, rather than what, you're saying why. So rather than just saying, this is what I sell, this is the price, you should buy it, you're saying, this is who we are. This is why you should buy from us. So it's a really great way to just sort of add a bit of emotion to your brand, add a little bit of people in the mix, because people like people.
They do. People buy from people.
They do. Yeah. So yeah, we've got a bunch on the way. I will give you a shout out. So
I didn't prepare you.
Carveth Plants. Carveth Plants, which is it's one of our new
new ecom,
new one, which is great.
Yep.
Aqua Warehouse. Yeah.
Richard will be pleased.
He's been on the pod before.
He has been on the pod. There you go. You go way back into the early episodes. He was on last year. Yeah.
There you go. Perrywood.
Okay.
Garden
Centre. Yeah.
Beach House Art.
Oh, lovely
And
people.
last one, celebrating 50 years. It's Peter John Interiors.
Oh, 50 years. What an achievement that is. Amazing. There you go. That just gives you a little sense of
I've got a script done for all of them.
The breadth and depth
and we're just looking at getting some time into film. So
yes,
loads of stuff going on there.
Yeah, because you'll go for all of them. You're physically going.
I am physically
going there, capturing.
It's going to require me to go all across the country,
quite literally.
Yeah,
showrooms and stores and people's houses as well. For
some of them. Yeah,
you're gonna need a bit of that.
In
inside,
fact, actually,
outside, some with people.
I am doing another thing, which is not quite a brand film, but it doesn't. It's requiring me to go to someone else's house again. So yeah.
There you go. All over the place. This is why I'm never in the office anymore. I have to tie him down when we need to do these podcasts. We're getting Archie back in. It'll be a thing. And I'll tell you, I
think my diary's just opened up.
I'll tell you something that actually I genuinely haven't told you this. I have not told you this. This is a proper exclusive.
Nice.
The cameras are rolled. We're just going to leave them rolling. But I actually have not told you this.
Okay.
And that is alongside the brand films.
Sure.
What we're also, Harriet and I have also had another idea from a creative standpoint of something else that we're going to be introducing that's going to run in parallel to the brand films.
Right.
We're going to tap into Harriet's expertise more fully. Do you know what that is?
Branding.
Brand brochures.
Oh,
yeah, that is exclusive for the listener and the viewer and from my head of creative. Because so Harriet and I were discussing that we were saying she obviously has got all this expertise.
Got tons of experience.
She's been doing like brand brochures, and all sorts of things.
Sure.
As her own when she was a freelancer, then in her career, graphic designer. So we said, actually,
that makes so much sense,
doesn't it? And to run alongside, this is genuinely, this is us. Just bear with us, dear listener. We're just gonna have a chat. But this is
we're literally just having a management meeting.
But this is how we do it. But no, I just thought like that makes all the sense. We were talking about it, and I was like, actually, because she's done a couple for Granite and one or two other clients, and actually we were like we've almost done them as and when we've sort of identified clients gone, oh, well, that'd be great. We've gone, well, we can do that, and then we just kind of sat there and we were like, why aren't we saying to our clients we can do this? Because Harriet's a graphic designer, all this experience. And so what we're going to do is we thought what we do is we'll tie it in with the sort of the launch of the brand films.
Yeah.
But with the brand films, brand brochures.
It's like our optional services.
Yeah, optional. But brand service, brand films, brand films, brand brochures. Because Hat can do brochures, she can do pamphlets, she can do all of that stuff, all for our clients. But it just works, doesn't it?
There you go.
So literally, we had that idea. We were discussing it.
Wow.
Case in point, I haven't told you because I haven't seen you.
Well, yeah, true.
That's why I haven't told you. But yes, there you go. So that's what we're going to do. Anyway, back in the room. But yes, we're going to do that. And I'll tell you what. While you've been out gallivanting all over the country,
I've been helping students.
You have been.
I've been inspiring tomorrow's minds.
You have also been doing that. But while you've been out and barely in the office, some of us have been behind our desks, and we've actually won some new clients. So I'll just give you a little sense. So a couple of the clients you mentioned there are relatively new ones. Hence, we're doing the brand film to kick us off. Yeah. But we're just to give you an idea. We are onboarding right now. Currently onboarding 4 new clients right now, and next month we have got 3 new clients joining us.
Wow!
And the month after we have 2. So we are now. And what's amazing is we are getting now, and this is just genuinely, this is for me. I run the business for a decade, and it was not like this. But now we are booking clients to come and work with us 2 to 3 months ahead.
Yeah,
which is such a revelation. My goodness me! And a big part of that is the content we're putting out. The fact that we're putting our and I know our guest today, Harry, loves Uncut, which is our behind the scenes, and the fact that we're doing all of that, which is a huge, proportion of our time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we're having a lot of fun, and none of it's scripted. I don't know if you can tell, and we're just having a lot. But the fact that we're doing that, and the fact that we're niched down into home and garden lifestyle only. All of those things are meaning we are pulling so many opportunities towards us like never before, that it's meaning we're saying no to more than ever, because we're like, you're outside of our space. But we're also have to go, great, we love it, but we'll book you in for 2 or 3 months down the line. Yeah. Because we'll never take more than like 2 or 3, 4 clients. We can't, there's only so much, because when we do the setup for clients, it's quite limited in terms of how much, it takes a lot of time.
It does.
You've got to go and do the brand film, then we've got to redo the research, we've got to do the audits, we've got to do the planning, we've got to sit down and work out all the business commercials. that involves me, that involves you, that involves Lou, that involves Matt, that involves Harriet. Like, there's only so many hours in the day.
There is.
Hence, we need to limit, and that's why we're staggering it. But yeah, it's quite something actually to now be at a place where we're kind of going, yeah, we'll see you in 2 or 3 months. It's great. It's not a problem. It's just a great thing to be in. I thought I'd give a little side. But if you're a business, whatever your business, there's something to be said. If you can flip the dime from what effectively was, we were always pushing for the next lead, pushing for the next customer. We were always kind of, trying to, where's the next client going to come from? Where's the next one going to, and this will actually tie into what we're going to talk to Harry about. If you can flip that on its head and then use your time to pull opportunities towards you, game changer. And that's been the biggest thing. We were out networking the other day, weren't we? And I haven't been networking in a long time. Like, I haven't actually gone out and done. So I used to do in years past, I used to do all the local networking, loads of local networking. And that was great. And it was really good. And you meet people and you build lots of connections, which is great. But my problem with that is that, again, was pushing for opportunities, because you're out and you're like, this is what we do. You're almost selling, this is what we do. This is where we do it. And you're building relationships.
Salesman.
But kinda, and you're pushing for opportunities constantly. Then I changed that and I moved for a period of time. For a couple of years, I moved into more agency networking. So I moved away from it. So I was with my agency peers, with the idea being pushed for referrals and recommendations and partnerships and so on. Both of those had their merits. Both of them were useful at the time. But then actually, since I then thought, actually, do you know what? Rather than networking, I'm going to put my time into content creation.
Yeah.
That is leverage time that we do the pod. This is how we spend our days, just sitting here doing this stuff like that. The pod and the tea talks and Uncut and all the other things. Now we do all those things. We're creating it once and it goes out on Spotify and YouTube forever. And then we can repurpose it. We can push it out and we can slice and dice it. That content creation is now pulling opportunities towards us.
It's interesting because I like to think of content creation, in terms of the networking sense, it's almost like passive networking. Because you're doing it, you're putting it out there. You're not physically going and talking to people. But it is reaching those people.
100%.
So the digital version of you is out there networking,
doing and working so much harder. And this is what's amazing is you and Archie are looking at the data all the time from what we're doing, and we're a tiny number of views and subscribers. Like, it's
we're very modest.
We're very, very, very modest numbers, but already from an agency perspective. Yeah. It's having a massive impact on where we are. And that's based on the traction we've got over the last year or so of doing it. And it's because of that. It's because a podcast we would have recorded a year ago, 6 months ago, will still be getting views today.
Yeah.
How amazing is that? Exactly. And someone will still watch it and then reach out. Yeah. We're getting inquiries every day because people go, I watched this, but I saw this episode. And I go, and then they reference it. They go, I saw you doing this last year. I saw you went here. And you go, when? And you, that was on Uncut back in last July.
And that's why I like to think of it as passive networking.
It's
because
amazing.
That video of you is like a little version of you going through different like LinkedIn profiles
100%.
And going on everyone's feeds. It's like that digital you is just searching for people to connect with.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I think it's very relevant because that's one of the things I want to talk to Harry about today is, when you're thinking about, going from effectively a one-man band. I know he's not quite that. He's got a couple of people working for him, but really when you're wanting to think about employing people, bringing them on PAYE, starting to add responsibility, take on that stress and strain. When you're thinking about that whole mindset becomes infinitely easier if you've got a confidence that you are pulling opportunities towards you regularly. If you do that, I have absolutely now, and for the last year, I haven't had no qualms recruiting people. Bring on. If someone really good comes across, even if we haven't got a role, as we've done a couple of times now, we'll give you a job because we've got a confidence that, we know we're attracting people and people are coming to us all the time. And that's why, like in the last week, we've recruited 2 people. We're going to recruit another 2 very shortly. We're just constantly building. So very interesting. Right. So have you got Harry's application?
I do.
Do you want to set the scene and just give us a little flavour of what's what? And then we'll bring him on and go from there.
I have one word.
Go on.
Leads.
Okay.
Not the city. Lead generation. That seems to be the running trend for Harry here on his application. Yep. He submitted his 3 marketing challenges and it's leads all the way. Okay. He says for his first marketing challenges, he wants to get better on social media and gain leads through social media platforms. So guessing that's organic.
Yeah.
For his second challenge, Google leads.
Okay.
So he wants more leads from his Google page.
Is the third challenge leads by any chance?
Well, it is leads, and it's specific leads, tailored leads for the business.
Okay.
So it's all about leads for Harry.
Because he's not spending anything. He's not doing any paid ads. He's not spending anything.
No, he's currently got no marketing spend whatsoever.
Right.
He's currently using Instagram, but it's just from an organic point of view. And yeah, he wants to grow on social media. It's a big thing. I mean, I guess we'll ask the question of why.
Yeah.
Because you don't necessarily need to grow like organically in a major way to sort of get those leads. But and he also just wants to know about how to sort of get more exposure through marketing while not having to spend tons and tons of money.
There you go.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. And we'll let Harry tell us a bit more about the business and where he's going and what his plans are. I think this is going to end up being a bit more of a startup businessy conversation than it is a paid media conversation. I do think paid media could play a role. Let's get him on and find out. Cool. Let's do it. Harry, my friend, are you there?
I'm here, yeah. Hello.
There he is. Harry, great to have you on the podcast, mate. Hope you are doing well. Do you want to just give our listeners and viewers a little flavour of who you are, your business background? Over to you.
Yeah, of course. So I'm Harry. I founded Rickard Landscapes, which is a soft landscaping company based within Oxfordshire. We're based just outside Banbury and work within a 40-mile radius of Banbury, so covering Oxfordshire, the Cotswolds, Warwickshire, Northamptonshire. And we're in soft landscaping, as I said, which is the planting and design of gardens. So whether that be you want trees, hedges, borders, sleepers, raised beds, steel edging, all that sort of shebang, we sort of cover all of that for you. So we have an in-house designer who we're sort of a relatively new thing we've added to the business. So We're able to take your lead, if you like, your sort of garden and make it lovely for you. So that's sort of what we are. We're relatively new. So we only sort of founded in the business in April 2024.
Yep.
So really sort of
coming up to that first year, and the numbers you've done. You set yourself a target of 200,000, didn't you? You said, and
Correct.
then you've smashed that
at the time. Yeah. So I set that target at the time because I'm quite an ambitious person. So I sort of wanted to almost have a target which felt something that I want. Something big to reach.
Yeah.
And sort of we have hit that, and we're going to be turning over 230,000 in our first year. So
love that.
We are really pleased.
We need a round of applause button on the pod, don't we?
Hey! Hold on, wait a second.
Have we got one? Oh, we haven't, have we? Hey, there you go. I love it. That's amazing. I mean, if I think all those years ago when I first started Evergreen, my lofty ambition for my year one was if I could match my salary that was on. I remember they're going, if I could just match my salary, which was sub 50K at the time, I would, I think it was even sub 40K. Anyway, but it was, I was like, if I could do that in my first year, I was like, that would be amazing. And then surpass that by some margin.
Oh, good.
So 200K, love that. That's amazing.
Now, hold on. I've got to stop you here for a second because, Harry, I hear that you've got a bit of a history with Aaron.
Oh, I do. Yes, yeah. Not in any sort of, not in a romantic way.
Well, hello.
Yes. So we actually met back in September 2022. When at the Cherwell Business Awards, which are our local sort of business awards, we have the Evergreen agency being based in Stratton Audley.
Yeah, we're Stratton. Yep.
So they're part of the Cherwell Business Awards. And we were both nominated Aaron was nominated for Business Person of the Year, and I was nominated for Young Business Person of the Year, and we both actually won. So the Young Business Person Award.
2 winners on the pod.
Winners, baby, winners.
I've yet to win an award.
You get that. You can't go. You're over the threshold for the young business person. We have to put you in for the business person. Yeah. There you go. But yeah, we did, and that was. I mean, you reminded me of that when we came on, and actually, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, my memory of that night is somewhat blurred.
There was a lot of alcohol, a lot of booze on those tables, wasn't there?
Unbelievable. I remember that because I was already rather merry by the time I got business person of the year, and I had to go up on stage. I actually fell off the back of the stage.
Did you?
I did.
I do. Yes. Yes.
Do you remember?
I do.
I
Yes,
fell off
yes.
the back of the stage when I walked up, like because it was so dark, and like it was one of these. It was the stage was only sort of like knee height type thing, so it wasn't like a crazy,
yeah.
But so I stepped up and I couldn't see where the back of the stage was versus the
Did
backdrop.
anybody film it?
Oh, it's on. Yeah, 100%. It's on camera. But so I walked up and was like, "Wait!" Boom! Straight fell off the back. And then the host, I can't remember her name, but who was there, like the host of the evening.
Yeah.
She basically grabbed me by the back of my the scruff of it, like the back of my shirt or like my blazer thing, and then just like pulled me back on, stuck her arm around me. And was just like, "You're right." She's like, "So what does it mean to win?" And I just was like, "Hey!" But yeah,
Sounds like you're blaming the darkness there, not the booze. That's the problem.
it's a bit of both. But then I honestly think that was probably the most drunk I've ever been in my life, because after the you won, sat back down.
Sure.
There must have been 300-400 people in that thing. Would you say, Harry? Like there was a lot of people there.
Yeah.
I genuinely think half of everyone in that thing bought me a drink. Like it was like everyone come up, like friends, people I knew, other businesses were just coming up, like just giving me shots, and a couple of people gave me opened the bottle of champagne and just dumped it in my legs, like, "Wait, cheers!" Like, and doing all of this.
And you're not a big drinker.
I'm not really a big drinker.
No.
I like a nice glass of wine, but I'm not really. But I just, in the moment, felt merry, so I was like, "Hey!" And then
Got to celebrate winning, though, haven't you?
Messy. But
it's a good award to win.
It's what?
It's a good award to win.
Yeah, it was good. It was good fun. It was good fun.
Both
and we both. So there you go. We both walked away. Harry probably walked. I probably crawled. As
was carried.
I think I actually was carried. as winners. There you go. Wow. Yes. Yeah. There's a bit of history there.
A bit of history.
Well, I think from your mystery of not knowing what happened.
Oh, lovely segue. Yes.
To a paid media mystery. It's time for our favourite segment.
Come on, let's do it.
So it's time again for Paid Media Mystery, and those of you who are listening very carefully will notice that we've actually moved it around a little. So we've now got Paid Media Mystery, and Harry can join in.
Yeah, Harry, no pressure. No pressure.
It's a daytime game show.
You know it.
Yeah.
The lights will dim down.
Yeah.
But we've, so Harry, make sure that you join in as well. But also... I've made a little bit of a change, because based on our audience feedback,
right,
it seems that people love playing along at home.
Oh, look at this. We're gamifying it. Yeah. I love this. Go on.
And
what we doing?
It's much easier to play along at home when it's multiple choice.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that might be a mainstay from now on.
Okay.
So today we've got, of course, another themed question, this time landscaping.
Okay.
With multiple
I don't know where you're finding
answers.
these things, but yeah, go on.
This one was tough, I'll be honest. But this one comes from Google Trends UK.
Yep.
And the question today is, what is the most searched landscaping service in the UK? Is it A, garden design, B, patio installation, C, artificial grass installation, or D, tree surgery?
Oh, it's either A or D. It's got to be. What do you think, Harry?
I think C or D.
Okay.
Oh, what was C?
Artificial grass.
Oh,
you think the patio? That was B, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You think the patio?
So again, that's A, garden design, B, patio installation, C, artificial grass installation, or D, tree surgery.
No, I'm going to go B or C.
So interesting. I immediately went A and D, and you've gone B and C. I love this. I am going to go for the most searched in the UK.
Most searched in the UK. Landscaping service.
I want B. Final answer.
I love how serious he's taking this. Right.
So you're going patio installation.
Patio installation. Okay, interesting. What was D?
D is tree surgery.
I'm going... garden design. Was the first one just garden design?
Garden design.
I'm going garden design.
Okay. You are both incorrect.
Okay.
The correct answer was C, artificial grass installation.
That was I would have put that at the
close.
bottom.
If only
Yeah.
if I'd done 50-50 as an option, you could have been, yeah.
It has, in recent years, seen a huge surge in searches due to its low maintenance appeal and year-round
Interesting.
greenery.
To be fair, our FD, he came in the other day and we were
He
talking about
did.
exactly, because he was
He
saying,
he was
he
exactly
was asking,
saying
he
about
said, do
it.
we know anyone? Because
Yeah.
obviously in our space.
And it wouldn't surprise me, because have you seen artificial grass these days?
No.
I
Like,
don't like it.
Well, as in, we've got a client that sells
we
it.
do, but it's come along like leaps and bounds. Like, I remember back when I was a kid, and I remember one of my friends had it in their
Yeah.
garden, and it was like an astroturf.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like
Would you not
the
know?
proper blades of grass, and it's
But,
very soft.
Harry, what are your thoughts on this? Because that's the lowest of low maintenance, right?
Yeah,
You a fan or not?
not a fan. No, I
Why?
just don't like. Well, I think if you want a garden, if you've got a garden, the whole point of a garden is is to sort of, part of the fun is maintaining it as well. So even if you're just mowing your lawn, I think you should actively do something with it. I can see the pros to it, why people do it.
I
But
think the big reason why
from an
people do it
environmental
is,
point of view as well. I mean, you think of
yeah,
everything that sort of lives in your lawn and all the birds and everything, and then you've got all the plastic involved. For someone that plants trees and puts plants to the ground, it doesn't sort of fit well.
Yeah,
in
it's
my
not gonna. It's not gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the reason why people go for it is for two big reasons that I can think of. Is one, pets. So
Yeah.
a lot of dogs tend to ruin grass.
Yeah.
And two, like, for example, it was when we were talking to when he came in, he said about being able to like play football, for example.
It's low maintenance. I say particularly like that. We've got a client that sells exactly this up north, and they do it. You know, it's like a lot of people that are retired. You know, where they haven't. It's low because it is low stroke no maintenance stuff like that. So in those scenarios, it works. But yeah, like everything, it's got a place. But I would never have called that as being more searched than garden design and patio and what's the other one?
Tree surgery.
Tree surgery. Yeah. No way. That's very, normally if I get them wrong, that's very surprising to me. There you go. Well, right. So, okay, Harry, we both got that wrong. There's only one way we can go from here, and that is up. So let's get into this then. So
question number 2.
Yeah, exactly that. So you've been doing this for a year, all of your business, and you said before you worked at another business that you've now still got a really good relationship with, and they send you referrals, and all of your business to date is coming through word of mouth, right?
Yeah, correct. So yeah, I was very fortunate in the fact my previous employer, local landscaping company, they sort of changed their office slightly, and due to sort of my ongoing relationship with them, I'm very fortunate that they sort of dropped some leads onto me. So sort of 10% of my leads come out of them, and the rest of it is all just sort of more organic. So I've got sign written vehicles, we've got a website, we've got an Instagram page, and just word of mouth. So that's where all my sort of work has come from. I've not spent a single penny yet on advertising apart from branding vans. So been really pleased with that. But it's now sort of at the point where we sort of, to sort of scale up the business, if you like, and get more people on board, you've got to be able to have enough leads to be able to keep everyone busy. And there's that fine line, there's that balance, isn't there? You don't want to employ anybody, you don't want to take more people on board till you've got the work for them. But at the same time, you can't take on too much work, otherwise you've got no one to do it. So it's that kind of balance. And it's sort of just making sure you get that balance correct, essentially.
The eternal dilemma of it's the sales before, and it should always be sales before operations. So in terms of get the leads before you have the people, sitting around doing nothing. But yeah, I know it. I've been there. Exactly that is. It's that thing of when do you take the leap? Because at the minute, the 3 guys you've got working for you are all subcontractors, right? They're all subbers.
Correct. Yeah. So that's kind of, I did that when we first set off, just because, being blunt and honest, you don't want the risk of on your books. You can't. You need to know that you can't kill the business before it's even started. Yep. So this way gives you that sort of added security of sort of, you got that sort of flex within the sort of...
You're big. So if we, you boil it down, ultimately the fear factor comes in. Am I going to be able to pay everyone? If I recruit, some people, if I bring them on the payroll, suddenly you've got to pay for NIs and national insurance and pensions, and you've got more responsibility. It's harder to just sort of walk away and go, right, I'm done, I'm out.
Exactly.
Is it just a fear thing around employing people and having enough leads to make sure that you can pay everyone at the end of the month?
Yeah, I mean, fear is probably not quite the right word, but it's just that sort of slight concern in the back of your mind all the time, thinking, if I employ them, I then got to have work for them, which isn't a problem at the minute. And currently, I've got to the point where we're probably at the stage now, even though it's still a relatively new business, where these three could come on the books. There's no reason why they can't, because we've
Yep.
got plenty of work to do that.
Yep.
So currently, sort of as we are, they could all come on the books and it would be fine. There wouldn't be an issue. It's then that sort of to scale up, to gain those more leads, you've still got to sort of, do you see what I mean? You've got to then, as you grow, you've got to have more people to help you grow.
But surely
And then-
a first step would be just to get these guys on and get them in. And the thing, I mean, there's a few things that I've learned over the years that when you recruit people, you're not having to pay them for the whole year ahead. So even if you brought 3 guys on, you haven't got to stump up their 3 lots of salaries all at one go in advance. You pay that salary over a 12-month period, so you can average it out. And if you've got the work there now, or if you have those guys on, payroll, then is that going to give you more time to be able to go out? Because these 3 guys are on the tools, right? They're all.
They are, yeah. I think you're definitely right. I think if we're at the point where, I mean, literally have just hit the point now where they can come on. I think the security of the business is there now for them to
Also,
join.
you're going to have to, because with the way it works with employing, because if these guys are full time with you right now, as you know, that you can't sustain that for very long anyway. If they're working for you, or you entirely or exclusively, or mostly for you, you're going to have a problem anyway. With regards to the laws are changing, particularly next month as things start to get tighter. So you're kind of not going to have your hand's going to be forced to a degree. So if you have that, and I don't know what you would end up paying them, I don't need you to disclose that, but might you be better off if you did that, or it depends if you're paying them a day rate now versus.
Yeah, it's a bit swings and roundabouts. That is really. I don't think I'd be worse off, but I think I'd be better off either. And my gut feeling is on the thing that we are ready to take them on now. Certainly within the last month or 2, that we can now put them on as full.
Before we go any further, are you enjoying today's episode? If so, you'll love our other show, Tea Talks. They're short, informal chats where the Evergreen experts and I share actionable nuggets on all things paid media, creative, and digital strategy that we use daily when growing our clients' businesses. And best of all, much like this podcast, it's completely free. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, see the link in the description. Now, let's get back to it. Have you forecast? So I mean, have you forecast this business ahead? Like, do you know what you want to do? Because in your application you put, where does the business? So you've done 230 this year, or you're going to have, and then you've said, where does the business want to be, in a year from now? You put, over 300. But what you've done here, so what's interesting to me, that's why I love people when they fill in the application, because there's always little insights in terms of how they're thinking, in terms of what they said. So you said ideally turning over 300 with 2 further team members. If you want, what would those team members be doing?
So that would just going on the tools again. I would possibly look at bringing someone in as more of an admin-y person as well, to set with the sort of account side of things.
Lovely.
I'm quite keen to do because currently all my sort of accounting is sort of subbed out to an accountant, which is fine. But I quite like I'm one of these people that want everything in-house, and I'd rather do it all as sort of one, so it's all in control. So that's kind of sort of how I see that. So possibly one extra sort of one of the tools, one sort of person behind the scenes, sort of doing more, maybe help with the marketing, the lead generation, and sort of dip into the sort of more account.
But then you need to add, you're going to need to increase that turnover target, because if you only go from 230 up to 300, if that was your target turnover, but you added in 2 more salaries, you're going to
I don't see. I see one as a full-time and one as more of a part-time person.
Right.
But yeah, I do agree with that. But at the same time, 200 was a target to get going.
Yeah.
But I'm quite happy to level for the time being and almost grow into that. So almost not sort of run before you can walk. So almost have that target, but actually get the business sort of set and everyone's roles set in, and actually sort of structure it and grow it slowly. So almost, I know it's all about money, but it's not all about money at the same time.
Look, profits vanity, right? Turnover, turnover is vanity, profit sanity. But have you done the exercise? Something that I've done for many years now is, have you taken yourself, to a coffee shop, sit down, pen and paper, and sort of work this out and go, right, in a year from now, this is what it needs to look and feel like, not just in terms of turnover and profit, but actually personnel, who's doing what, how many people. Have you done that exercise?
Sort of. I wouldn't say I've done it sort of like it's sort of really seriously, but I have sort of had that exercise. Yeah.
Because I think that's something that, is super useful. Because when you're just writing on paper, if you're only committing to paper, it's very easy to write it all down, look at it all, and then actually read it back and go, nah, rip that piece of paper up, start again. It's so much easier to do it that way round and to work out, okay, if I have a team of 3 on PAYE, what's that going to cost me? You can work all of these numbers out, right? What do I need? And the thing is, for you, you're going to want to work out, what do you need? What do you want in terms of your income? What do you need to pay? So you kind of go, right, I need to make X, and then, this person's going to cost me this person's going to cost me that. My operating costs are this, etc., etc. You can work all of that stuff out to then be able to run a scenario and go, right, so if in a year, 2, 3, I need to get, the turnover to this, the profitability to this, I'm going to need this amount of people at this point to be able to do that. This is what's achievable. This is what isn't. And I'm a big fan of starting with the end in mind and then reverse engineering it and working it backwards.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that needs probably further work. I think I've done it, and I've done it on the sort of how I thought it was going to play out, this situation.
Yeah.
Because the business has grown a hell of a lot faster than what I thought it was going to. Probably need to look at it with a fresh head again and almost do the exact same.
When did you last do that? When did you last do it?
Within the first couple of months, actually. So I had my original plan of how it was going to work, and then obviously it grew fairly rapidly to begin with. Probably 6 months in, I redid it, but haven't done it since then. And obviously each month it just gets more and more and more.
Exactly, and I mean that's the beauty of this, right?
The old plan and doing a new one, just sort of thing.
Exactly. Well, that's it, and but keep the old ones, because you want to keep a record of that and see how it's evolved and how your mindset has changed in terms of what you were thinking 12 months ago is very different to what you're thinking now and for the next 12 months. So keep that, but I would get into the habit of revisiting that on a quarterly basis, so every 3 months. So like taking yourself out of environment, sitting down, looking at the numbers, looking at the realities of where you are and what you're doing, and then actually go, right, what do I need to do next? And making 3-month sprints. Are you doing that? Are you running the business? Because again, that's a really effective way of running the business, is looking at it. Yes, having the overall plan, but then go, right, my main goals, my 2-3 goals for the next 3 months are to achieve this or that, and working in sprints. And then you almost go hell for leather to hit that marker or meet that, whatever it might be. Take a minute, reflect. Okay, yeah, we did that. We didn't do that. This worked. This didn't. Right, now we take those learnings and we go again for the next 3 months.
No, I'm not doing that, but that sounds like a good idea. I mean, the first couple of months was just getting going, but now we've kind of got going and settled. I think that would be a really wise thing to start doing. So
I think getting into, particularly if your end of year is about to come up, like it's a perfect opportunity for you to just sort of take, look a bit of a look back and go, right, cool, first year, amazing. Like, how many things have you learned? How much more confident do you feel? Stuff like that. And then you just want to basically do a SWOT analysis, look at your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, those threats, in terms of as a business, and then look at and go, right, in a year from now, this is what my business needs to look and feel like in terms of turnover, profitability. What team am I going to need to do that? And what are you doing? Where's your time going now versus in a year from now? Do you want to be doing as much on the tools, or do you want to be focusing purely on biz dev or sales, or like, what do you want your role to do? And then you can almost have that in your mind's eye for that's a year or 2 from now. And then you can work back out, okay, in order to make sure that absolutely happens, the biggest thing I need to do in the next 3 months is X. And then the 3 months thereafter, it will be Y, and so on.
Definitely. No, I think it's a really good idea. I definitely would do that. I like the sound of that. I think it's definitely something that could be worthwhile doing, 100%.
And do you know at this stage what you want to be in a year from now? Do you want to be on the tools? Do you want to get off? Like, what do you want your role to be?
So that's a good question. I like the variety of my role currently. So currently I'm doing a bit of everything. I see people, I quote stuff, do a bit of admin. Do you know what I mean? I literally do everything. Bit of driving, do it all. I see my role probably coming away from the tools more and doing it more, sort of doing more design work, doing more going to see people, doing more sort of consultancy and sort of growing it that way. That's how I see my role of the business going. Okay. And then I'll have my on the team people almost assisting me with that. So I can almost set them up, let them go, whilst I can almost be then always trying to find the next job. So that's the thing with landscape and stuff. You can't always focus on the job you're on, although it's really important at the time. You're always looking for the next one,
of course,
to move on to. So I would like my time to be spent almost trying to find the next one. So almost like when you're working on one, you're trying to find the 1, 5, 6 down the line sort of thing.
Yeah. And I think that is the right answer for this business. It's, your job is going to be chief salesman, right? You are the one that's going to bring the work in because it's your baby, it's your business.
It is a sales job. You've got to find work to keep it going. You have to.
Exactly.
you got to be, one, you're on your current project, you've got to be thinking of the sixth, seventh, eighth one down the line at that point in time, because you need to get that job security, that business security. You have
Yeah.
to have the planned work. You have to have people's deposits. You have to have it ready to go.
Exactly that. And I think that's what, this is a business that starts from zero every month effectively, right? Because there's,
Yeah.
it's, you get a project will last a week or two or whatever it is. And then you're on, as you say, you're on to the next, and you're only going to be able to work on what, 2, 3, 4 projects at any one time?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly. And I like to always work in such a way that I know some businesses don't work like this, but I always like to 100% finish a project before moving on to the next one. I know a lot of people don't, and sort of 90% do it, 95%
Yeah,
do it, and
yeah.
start something else and go back and finish it, which I see the logic to that, because they always want to keep everyone happy and running. But I quite like to just 100% complete and can move on. But that's also
Yeah.
the way my brain works. I'm one of these people that has to
Yeah.
100% finish something.
But
and then
that's
move
it.
on to
But
the
as I say, because you're starting from zero every month, you're going to need a constant source of leads. So for you, and do you know, I mean, again, when you go and, go take yourself out of environment, you go and sit down and think about your business, what all the wins, and, I'd look what went well, what didn't go well, where's your time being spent. That's a big thing to look at, how much of your time went on business development. Because as you say, to grow this business, all of your business right now is coming in through referral and word of mouth.
Yeah.
So that is very hard to predict, and it's very hard to scale. And I know, because there is so much about this that is so familiar to me back in when I was in those first couple of years for me, because you never know when your next meal is coming from. You never know where your next customer is going to come from. And you might have a really good week and the phone doesn't stop ringing, but then it just goes, it's barren and you get nothing. And you're like, what's going on? And that is what makes it very, scary to recruit and to build a team and to invest, because you're like, oh, well, I don't know where the next customer is going to come from. So, and when you're thinking about growing, you don't really have a way to be able to, like, yes, you could go back to your current referrers and say, I'm building, if you keep us top of mind, and you could nudge that and you could influence it a little bit, but it's still not scalable. It's not controllable. So you are going to need to start to think about what can you do from a marketing perspective that is going to be pulling more opportunities towards you. And that doesn't have to mean paid ads. You said about you using Instagram and stuff like that, but you're going to have to put a bit more time, effort, and energy into doing that, to proactively go out and be pulling opportunities towards you. And that's where you're going to need to get off the tools to do this. And you mentioned one of the people you're planning to recruit. I would definitely, whether it's like someone that could do the accounts, the bookkeeping, or like a bit of an admin, a PA type role, something like that, someone that you get the opportunity, but then they could price it up, send it over, quote back and forth, take the phone calls, arrange the appointments. You want to be getting, you need to be doing the stuff that's worth thousands of pounds to your business, not tens of pounds to your business.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you see what I mean? And I think if you're doing, you've got 2 or 3, 4, 5 guys on the tools, great. They need a constant stream of new business. They need constant, like, here's the next job, here's the next job. You need to proactively pull people towards you. And so your time is going to be best spent on, as I say, putting the stuff up on socials and going out there and meeting the clients. But then the back office stuff, if your time's being, all the time you're spending doing that, it's not on getting the next customer.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is kind of where I kind of was hoping that I could get some sort of help on it, because as you touched on a minute ago, it's this uncertainty of not knowing where the next lead's going to come from, when it's all word of mouth. You don't know when the phone's going to ring. And this is where, I'm a novice. I don't know anything about it. And this is where the whole marketing, where's the best way to pitch? How do you get these leads? Where's the best way? What's the best method to do it? Is it Google? Is it social media? And that's kind of where I need to probably put time, because investing that time into whatever that is, whether that's Google, whether it's social media, I think we're really valuable in what you get out of it as well, because we're able to sort of, I suppose, monitor and actually really analyze where the leads are coming from, and then really sort of invest into those channels to be able to.
Don't overcomplicate it, Harry. Don't overcomplicate it. There's a tendency when you start thinking about marketing, like, oh, right, I need to get really, scientific and start to overanalyze. Just keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. The KISS analogy, right? Just keep it simple, because ultimately you've said your leads are coming through referral and word of mouth. So that's great. And that's that's not going to suddenly stop unless you fall out with your current referrals. So that you're going to get some, you just can't predict it, and it's difficult to therefore forecast. But so what you're going to need to do is think about adding a couple of additional strings to the bow. And so we just need to look at it. I would be thinking, what platforms are you most comfortable with? So are you a fan? Do you use Instagram? Do you like Instagram? Do you know Instagram? Is that like something that you think, oh, I'm really comfortable with this. This feels natural to me.
I do, yeah. It works well for me from my perspective, but also from customer perspective. People like visual photos, and landscaping
Yeah.
works well in photos. So that's why I use it for that. I'm comfortable with it, and everyone else is comfortable viewing it. So yeah,
There you go. So you've got, and you're going to be creating your own content, your own reels and so on. So,
yeah,
in the first instance, I wouldn't complicate it. You could just put a few quid behind some of your posts that showcase your work, highlight. And I think what you need to do with this, there's so many fundamentals here, but you need to be making it clear across your socials and on your website, which I think could do with some work, that this is what you do. And this is where you do it, because you're in Banbury, you operate a 40-mile there or thereabouts radius. So it needs to be very clear to anyone seeing your stuff on social or the website or wherever that, oh, okay, yeah, Rickard, these guys, I see what they do, lovely, and I see where they do it. So it's the what you do and where you do it, right? Keep it really simple. I don't think, you're not at the stage where suddenly you need to go and do a big, paid media campaign. Like, I would just be chucking a few quid behind. We've got a client that is in the gardening space. And for the last they're now a client, but before they worked with us, for the last couple of years, they built their business up to £1 million turnover in the gardening space. And all they did is created loads of video content and would be putting out, just literally like basically effectively boosting those posts and just getting local eyeballs on what they were doing. And they were showcasing their personality, showcasing their products and their services. And people just were gravitated towards them. So they went, love that. Love what you do, and you clearly have got some personality and some charisma, and I want a bit of that for my garden. And so it can work. You don't need to overcomplicate it. And I wouldn't be thinking, oh, I need to run a big ad campaign. Like, you're not at the stage to do it. But I'd be boosting posts on Insta, but making the content you're boosting just needs to be super creative. So like for you, it's a case of show the before and after, time lapse on your phone, the transformation. Like, are you doing any of that? Are you creating content?
We've got all of that. Yeah, that's something I'm trying to get into. So we are doing that. We've got drone footage. We try and get on the drone a bit.
All of this.
So
this is good. Yeah, this is all you need. Just you need the time to do it. But you need to take the time to actually think, what can I be putting up? And again, if you get someone in the team, maybe once you've done it,
this is what I'm thinking. Yeah,
they could help, and then they could start to do some of that. But so yeah, I'd be keeping it really simple from an online perspective. In terms of Instagram ads and stuff like that, I think that makes a lot of sense. Are you when you do like a job, are you leafleting the local area and stuff like that?
No, I'm not. I mean, again, it's just one of these things where take your advice, I suppose. But no, I'm not. But then I'm not a firm believer in leaflets anyway, just because I know how I and various other people sort of approach the whole leaflet thing, apart from just pick them and throw them away.
But
so
how old are you, Harry?
27.
Right. How old's your average customer?
It's a really good question, actually. 40s, something like that. 40s,
they've got
50s.
a very different perception of leaflets to you.
Yeah.
You're not your ideal customer. Remember that.
Yeah.
All right. So don't use your own personal bias to make decisions when it comes to marketing. Like leaflets, very powerful. Leaflets very powerful. I love a leaflet in terms of being able to, and particularly what I would do is you could have leaflets and go, we've just done one of your neighbours. This is what we do. Here's us. Here's our prices, our services. Give us a call. Really casual.
It's worth a try, actually, because realistically, in the whole scheme of things, a leaflet isn't that much expensive.
No, leaflets are pennies. Leaflets are literally pennies. And then I would definitely have, do you know what I would do, right? If this was my business, I would have all the jobs that you're working on, right? Is get the team that are there, and you basically, you have a leaflet, but with a business card that you personally sign, and you write on the business card, we've just done your neighbour's garden, like literally that, and then you sign it off with a business card that you actually you sign in ink, and then with a leaflet, and you pop that through every other door on the street of wherever you do a job. That will almost certainly get you more work, because it's people go, oh, Smith down the road, they've had some bits, they got these guys in. It's that if one of your neighbours have done something, you are going to just instantly go, there's instant that trusting, oh, well, if it's good enough for our neighbours, then we'll get them in as well.
Yeah, and actually, fair. That's exactly how I work as well. You always say, "Oh yeah, I saw that banner at such and such's
There you
house."
go. So
So
I
you
would be
do that,
doing
yeah.
that, but then also I would for the cost of what it would, the cost you'd have to invest doing a leaflet drop in Banbury. In it doesn't even have to be the whole thing, but you can get Royal Mail. One of our clients have just done an event, a clearance event, ecommerce. They did a clearance event because they've got in their showroom down in Wiltshire, and we got them to because they hadn't used leaflets either, and we did all of their paid and we ran all their ads on Google and Meta and so on, and we made this big event and it worked really really well. But what we got them to do is produce leaflets, 35,000 leaflets they had printed and delivered by the Royal Mail. Worked an absolute treat because it was just a local thing. And it said, hey, we're running this event. It's down at this time, etc., etc. Now, for you, it's just a case of saying, this is who we are. This is what we do. And we do it in this area.
Yeah, and I
Perfect.
suppose actually it works well because the more I think about it, the more you're right. Because actually, it's just the next level up to what I'm doing now. It's nothing complicated. It's just simple.
No,
But it's the next level up. We're not talking big money. We're talking quite a little. It's kind of
literally, you could
things are
do it for
little.
like,
Yeah.
get it's pennies in the grand scheme of things. So I would leaflets is an absolute no-brainer for you. I would also be doing a like a recommend for your clients, for your customers. I would be doing some sort of like follow up. So once you've done a job, it's somehow you want to incentivize your existing customers, like if they can refer and recommend you to build on that. So I'd be
Okay.
giving them
That's
some
not
sort
good.
of like maybe you could do a follow up service or something else for them if they would refer you.
Yeah.
Because
Okay. Yeah.
then
Yeah.
when you finish the job, your customer is never going to love you more than when you've just finished the job and their garden's looking beautiful and they come out and they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. They're loving it. You drop into the conversation and you follow up with a little, something through the door or you give them something on job
Like a refer a
completion.
friend sort of thing.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Love that. They're going to love you and they'll tell their friends, about it. And they'll go, oh yeah, so and so. And if they probably would do it anyway, but if you prompt them, they're more likely to do it.
No, and you're sort of just using people you really work, and then you can almost, they can almost see the work in their friend's garden as well. So I think you're right. It's almost
There you go.
focusing on the leads you've got. To try and find blank leads. You almost try and expand the ones
Yeah.
you've got.
Leverage what you've already got. The people you're already working with and their neighbors is a great way of starting, and it will cost you nothing beyond having a conversation and 50 quid in leaflets.
Yeah, this is all really good. Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
this is how you can start to just nudge the things and push and push and push.
slowly
And
grow.
then
Yeah,
like you also need to be on you in like the local sort of community groups and stuff like that? You're doing a
I
bit of
am.
that?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So be
keep that.
posting
Yeah,
in them, like that's standard. And then the Instagram, 100%. But don't I think so many small businesses just think that paid media is the answer to their prayers in as much as, well, we've got, we'll just run Instagram ads or we'll run Google ads and that will answer all my prayers. And it's like, it will play a role. Yes, absolutely. And it could be very, very effective. Don't get me wrong. And if you had the budget, you put Google, it would absolutely work, but don't just rely on it and be like a one-trick pony, but actually use the common sense marketing is how, you want to boot your bootstrap in this. So you need to think, how can I leverage what I've already got, which
it's
your
so
existing
true.
customers
Actually,
and
just
their
focus
neighbors.
locally. Just focus locally on the ones you've got, as opposed to
100%.
like trying to find new people. Because, like I said, you can throw a load of money into Google, but it's not specific. It's not, and probably be out the area. Throw a load of money into it.
Yeah,
You'll
I
be
don't think,
getting back.
I
A
mean,
company
look,
this size, you're right. Small businesses, it's pointless going into that sort of market yet, isn't it?
you're not ready for Google. Get
No.
get to 500,000, and then look at Google. Very locally, very targeted local Google stuff where you go, I'm going to run it Banbury in a 20-mile radius, and I'm going to look up for specifically these services, and then it will be a numbers game. Not everyone will convert, but you'll put enough in to be able to get enough out. And it might be then you run a Google, you're doing 500,000, you turn around and say, do you know what? I'm going to put $2,000, $3,000 a month into ads, right? That's £100 a day into Google ads. And then you sort of go, right, over that $3,000 I'm putting in, maybe I'm spending another 1,000, 1,500 on management, so all in your digital budget, your paid media budget for across the year is 50, 60K. That's 10%, give or take, of your turnover, which is about right of where you would need to be. And you would look at that 50K and go, I'm putting 50K in total across the year. That's going to 4x in terms of business. That's going to drive me from 500 to 750. Right, that's when you bring that in, and then you bolster it with retargeting to keep the brand top of mind. So that's the step that you would take. but you're not there yet. So you
No,
don't
quite a long way off
take
there. But
that
it's
yet.
nice to have that as kind of a plan for the future. So thank you.
Yeah,
It's
that's where.
good to kind of have that ambition of sort of that target point of like 5 years time, 4 or 5 years time.
Yeah, I think you get to that point, and then then you look at it and you go, when I'm at 500,000, then I'll put in a payment plan like that. 10% is a good rule for marketing. So 10% of growth where you want to be, you invest back in very targeted. The great thing with Google Ads and search is that people are actively looking. So if you're running out, I mean, we run masses of ads for local businesses, all manner of local businesses. For the most part, they're all 500,000 for the most part, 1 million above in revenue, and then they're scaling up, right? So you're going to want to do that, and it will make absolute sense for your business to do it when you're at that point. When you're at the point where you can go, right, I can invest 10%. That's going to give me 2 or 3 grand a month minimum, so I can get my ads can be seen frequently enough that I can get statistical significant data. Means I can actually make them work and get enough leads where I can start to correlate it. Go, okay, I'm consistently getting 10 good quality, relevant local leads coming in every single week, and I can push on from there. You convert 2 or 3 a week, you're off to the races, right?
Yeah,
but what a lot of small businesses do is they go, I'm not going to do any of the leaflets and the pounding the pavement stuff. I'm just going to rely on Google. I'm going to chuck 500 quid at it and hope that it just suddenly translates into tens of thousands of revenue. And then they just put all their eggs in that basket. They don't have the budget because their business is not big enough. It doesn't work. They write it off, and then they don't end up growing.
Yeah, and you throw a load of money away, don't you?
And you throw a load of money away, right? So don't do that. So what you do the boots on the ground stuff. You leaflet the neighbors. You engage in the local groups. You ask your current customers for referrals and recommendations, and then you go out and leaflet. If you need to pound or get a couple of your guys, and again, I'd be using this when you're quiet. And this is see what you were saying about it's having that assurance of the work being there, right?
Yeah.
Even if the work. What I would be doing if I would employ these people, because I know I haven't got to pay all their salary right now, I'd be going, right, I'm going to get them on. And if they've got a lull in the work, right, don't worry about it. What can they do? Pound the pavement, go and leaflet, go and help me find the work. You're not asking them to sell, but you're asking them to just go and get themselves out there, leaflet the local areas, get us out there, help to ultimately pull opportunities and leads towards us.
I think it's definitely worth a try. No, thank you. Definitely going to do that. I think it's a really wise idea. Yeah.
Any other questions? Anything else you want to just pick my brains on in terms of, because so much of this for me is I very different industry, a world away, but
so relatable.
I remember being in this exact sort of place and thinking, oh, don't I, and all of that. So anything else, the forum is yours, my friend.
I mean, my whole point of my whole discussion, I suppose, was all around the whole leads thing. And we kind of feel like we've actually just covered all of that as one, because the actual business itself is slowly growing. We're sort of doing that, and it's the whole to be able to grow it, as we keep saying, it keeps coming back to the point of to be able to grow it, you have to have the work to be able to grow it. And I would think I was barking at the wrong tree slightly, possibly, by the sounds of it. And I was thinking more social media, Google. Actually, it's actually not that at all yet. That's almost the sort of future.
I think so.
These smaller things. So no, I think you've actually answered all my questions. So it's been really helpful. Thank you.
Good. Well, look, it's been a pleasure, and as I say, keep in touch. You're only 20 minutes around the corner, so keep in touch and best of luck with it. But yeah, just go do that. I'll tell you a good book, a really good book to get. Hold on, I'm just gonna Google it. Hold on, trying to remember what it's called now. Bear with. I need to find it. Hold on. I need to find it. I might have to send it to you.
It's always a way you can never find things.
I can never find it. I've literally got it on my shelf at home. I read it years ago. It's great. I can't find it. I will dig it out. But it's like a marketing kind of, not for beginners, but it's like a hold on. I've just
remembered what it is. Books, isn't it? Marketing
It's not a dummy book. It's not a dummy book. It is here it is. It's one by, who's it by? It's called Grassroots Marketing.
Okay, cool.
It's so good. I will send you a link to it. But it's called the No BS. Who's it by? It's by Dan Kennedy. That's who it's by. But it's the No BS Grassroots Marketing book, and it's got all of the literally what it says on the tin, grassroots marketing tips and tactics of just how to generate customers and leads on a shoestring, essentially.
That sounds really interesting.
It's really good book. You'll really get it. It's like 10 quid or something on Amazon. It's really good. You'll really enjoy it. And then if you read that one, enjoy it, give me a shout, because I've got loads more of other sort of. This is how I learned my craft. Like, my expertise is in paid media, digital marketing, but I just love good old fashioned marketing and, that omni-channel approach of how can we market our business on a shoestring. And that's this, we take that same philosophy and mindset in all the clients we work with, because we sort of look at them, and a lot of our clients are, some of them have got budgets of tens of thousands and we're scaling them up into the many millions, but a lot of them are small local businesses doing their first 1, 2, 3 million. And they've got budgets, of ads for 2, 3, 4, 5,000 a month. And so we have to be extremely economical with where we spend that. And it's these things, and this is why we say to our clients, well, do leaflets, get in the local paper. I was talking to someone literally yesterday about there's a local village magazine that they do in the local villages. And that's another thing that you should definitely be getting into, because they'll have them around in Banbury. Get in all the local magazines. Have you in any of them?
No, not yet. No.
Do that. That's great. Honestly, those ones that go through the doors. Do you live in that?
I get one, like the local village sort of thing. Yeah.
Do that 100%, because that is just great. You'll get all the people sitting there. They'll flick through it. Take out like a page in that. It'll cost you like £100. And the great thing is those sort of village papers, like magazines, pamphlets, they only generally come out once every 2 months, once every 3 months. So you're sitting on someone's desk on their kitchen side for a couple of months.
Yeah, and the good thing with that is as well, so looking from business, it's all local, and obviously it's savings. Obviously, the further you travel, the more fuel you burn, the more time you spend.
It's all local.
So it's all local. Right? Yeah, no, definitely.
That's what I'd be doing, 100%. It's all of that local. So yeah, find out all of those, reach, and they'll be to all the local ones. They often struggle to find people that want to advertise in it. So if you reach out and have a conversation with them, I'm sure you'll be able to get in one of those things. And you don't even have to just do Banbury. You could do the surrounding areas, because once you get in with one, you'll say, who else does it? And they'll go, oh, there's one in Bicester, there's one here, there's one there. Get in all of them, and you're off to the races.
Yeah. Okay. No. Perfect. No. Definitely.
All right, man. Well, look, we'll leave it there, Harry. Thank you for being on. You've been a really
useful. Thank you very much.
Great guest. Thank you so much for being on. Look after yourself, and we'll speak soon. Yeah.
Great. Cheers. Take care.
There you go. Well, that was Harry. What a lovely chap he is. That all feels so familiar to me. Back in the day when I was getting started, and I went through the same thing. I grappled with, do I recruit? Don't I recruit? When do I recruit? Am I going to be able to get enough business? So it's all very, very familiar. And it will be for you watching, any of you that have bootstrapped a business, grown a business. These are the conundrums we have to overcome if we want to grow and build something. But he's clearly got the right idea. He knows what he's doing, and has got a cracking business there. So yeah, hopefully he takes some of those things and takes them and grows his business. There you go. Hope you have enjoyed this episode of Grow with Evergreen. If you have, remember to give us a 5-star review. We'd love that. You can subscribe, follow us on all of the regular channels, Spotify, YouTube. We're everywhere, aren't we, Darren?
Literally everywhere.
Everywhere.
Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
There you go. But yeah, really good fun. Thank you so much for joining us. And Darren and I will see you on the next one. All the best. Take care. Hello, beautiful people. I hope you enjoyed today's Grow with Evergreen podcast. I want to ask you if you would like to be my next guest. We're looking for more home, garden, and lifestyle brands to join us. So if you're using paid media such as Google Ads and Meta Ads, if you're willing to be honest and open, and if you're wanting to grow online, then I think you'll find our podcast incredibly helpful for your business. You can apply directly via our website. Simply click on the navigation in the top right-hand side of the website and select podcast. Fill in the application and one of my team will get back to you. Best of all, it's completely free to join us on the Grow with Evergreen podcast. I look forward to helping you grow your business very soon.